Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carey. Thanks for being here today, stopping by. Maybe you saw the title and said, hey, that's an episode I wanted to see. If you just stop by randomly for episodes here and there, can I encourage you to hit that subscribe button and maybe the ring bell? That way you're notified every time I upload new episodes. It's free, but it helps me out a lot because then my episodes get shown to more people who they might be helpful for. Anyway, today, talking about falling in love, wanted to see if maybe you've noticed that it's a little bit different this time around. There's something that I've seen happening for people who are just getting back out there dating after a long hiatus, a long marriage, or a long relationship of some length, specific length. Enough time where they feel they've been off the market for a substantial amount of time. And I want to make sure that you don't fall into that trap, or if you do choose to, that you do so willingly. And that's what we're talking about. It's falling in love versus falling in love with being in love. If that's at all intriguing, stick around. It's what we're chatting about right now. I know we've talked about part of this before, like this is special. This person is special. And I question, is it this person that's special? Or is it something about the experience that's special? Make sure it's the actual person. That's what it is. All those episodes where we talk about the stranger, the perfect stranger, or filling in the blanks and really trying to figure out who this person is while you're dating. A lot of those episodes allude to the fact that we've got to make sure we're falling for the actual person, not what we imagine them to be. But in this scenario, it's not necessarily what we imagine them to be. It's how this situation makes us feel. If you've been off the market for some period of time, getting out there, finding somebody you're connecting with, let's talk about endorphins, shall we? I mean, seriously, we can really get high from that feeling of being infatuated. We've got episodes about being infatuated as well. I have to remember which hand that is. And I just think that maybe we should address what we need to think about to make sure that it's this person we're falling for and not just the feeling that they're giving us. It makes us feel so good, we're often willing to ignore big chunks of information that would typically make us leave or run in the opposite direction. So I think it's sort of important that we understand what we're feeling and where we're coming from and what's going on in here. Seriously, who doesn't want that all-encompassing, giddy feeling that a surge of dopamine will give you? You would be silly to turn that down, in fact. But also, you cannot be blinded by the actual person who's helping you to feel this way. We cannot allow a chemical reaction to keep us from gauging whether or not this person is truly a good person and a fit for us, a good match for us, and overlook huge, personality qualities. So it's important that we know whether or not this is real or about this person or about ourselves. I think the first way to know that this might just be you being in love with love is, does it feel a little bit like a movie? Is it giving you kind of vibes of like some romantic comedy that you're a big fan of? This feels like it's just right out of, he's not that into you. That would be a good one. Whatever your failure to launch, and also not a good one. I don't know why these are coming to me. But if the feeling around this relationship is, this is so romantic and somebody should be following me with a camera to capture this, then you may want to take a closer look, find out if you're in love with the feeling of love or whether it's truly this person. Number 2, that universal feeling of love that is in all of the love songs. Most of them are not very specific. That way they apply to large groups of people. There are some that are very specific, which are super cool. I always wonder, who's the person that this was written for? I can't think off the top of my head. I'll put some lyrics here for you. You'll recognize this. But most of these songs are made to make us all feel even more of the love that we're experiencing in our lives. If all these songs to you feel like they're being written for you, and you're feeling, holy cow, they know exactly how I feel, and this is making me feel even more in love, you may want to examine what these feelings are truly associated with. I also want to warn you to be careful if you are one of those people who believes in soulmates, who believes in destiny, who believes there is one person out there for you and that you've met this person. If you are a person who believes this was meant to be and it's very early on in this relationship, I'm just encouraging you to take a look deep inside yourself and ask yourself a few questions to gauge whether this is based on an actual human being or on something you've created in your mind because it feels so good. People who believe in soulmates sort of approach these things differently. I'm not a huge fan of the soulmate idea. I think it leads to people with unrealistic expectations of a relationship and what it does require of two people, the effort that it takes, the consciousness, the being present, and not work like we must, torture ourselves with something, not that kind of work, but an awareness, a constant awareness of the relationship and checking in with each other. I think people who assume that this person was made for them don't always do that, and they're less likely to end up with a great long-lasting relationship. I will put that episode up here for you if you're interested in my thoughts on soulmates and why I prefer to think that we choose each other daily in a relationship. Check that out. But again, if you are feeling that this person was sent here for you, I want you to just do a little inventory with your feelings about this. Number 4 would be you are seeing flaws, but you are still all in. They're not really scaring you because somewhere in your mind you're telling yourself that this is just because you don't know him well enough or he doesn't know you well enough. These things can probably change. This person could change. Some of these things, if we are to talk about it later, I could probably, work this out and make some changes in how he looks at things or approaches things or his actual personality. If he's not already the stuff that you like and you're making excuses for him or thinking you can change him, you're hanging on to this because it feels so good, I really, really, really want you to take stock, make a pros and cons list here, and check in with yourself to make sure that it's the person who's making you feel this way and not the fact that you have missed being in love for so long that this is just filling you up, and such a reward system has been created here for you with this relationship that is going on in here. And then finally, number 5, trying to figure out if this person is giving you all these great feelings or if you're doing it for yourself because you are in love with the feeling of love, would be if you are, I forgot what it was. If you are picturing far into the future instead of picturing this next date, that would be a really big clue, I think. I think that if you are picturing what it'll look like when you're on vacation and you're seeing yourself on the beach or coming down the mountain holding hands, or if you are picturing next Christmas and him sitting next to you on the sofa and your family around all enjoying his company, or you're picturing cooking in the kitchen with him, or really getting old with him sitting in the rocking chairs on the front porch, if all of these are the images that you conjure up when you think about him, as opposed to thinking about the very next date and continuing to get to know him, I think this is a sign that you should, as I've said on all these others, take a look, examine, and make sure that you're on the same page with you and feeling these things because of a person and not because of your own emotional attachment to that wonderful, wonderful feeling of falling in love. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please give the episode a thumbs up, and then you can subscribe if you would. I would love that. Hit the ring bell, then you're notified when all my new episodes come up live, and we can hang out again sometime soon. I look forward to that. Take good care. Thank you so much for being here today, and until next time, have a good one.